Good morning, Javier. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on, Jamie.
Well, Mayor, we are honored to have you on, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in some of our other shows, why this is so important. But Javier, we thank you for being the kind of mayor, having the transparency to basically want our citizenry to understand the dynamics of city government. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure up to this point. It's been a wonderful experience, and I wouldn't be. There's nothing else I want to be doing right now.
Well, that sounds like you are walking in a call, Javier.
Feels that way, sir. It definitely does.
Uh, and I'm sorry, I'm going to refer to you as mayor now,
Yeah,
if I
thank you.
may.
Appreciate
But
that.
uh, mayor, what can you tell us about these first weeks in office? I mean, have you learned things you didn't know before? Um, Anything jump out as big surprises? What's what has stood out predominantly?
Well, the answer to those two is yes, yes, and then yes. It has been fast paced, too slow for some, too fast for others. It started right after the election. Things were moving fast. They move fast so you can keep up with it. And so the thing is that one of the things that definitely as a mayor and new council is that we're trying to get to the point where we're being more proactive than reactive,
That's
and
good.
um, and that's important. And the thing is that the critical thing is the timing about how to be able to get the information out and get it to the public, where it's not skewed and basically just the facts. And sometimes that's a little slow. And but the thing is I think we finally getting an avenue where the council's working cohesively. There has to be some cohesiveness with the council, and it's been a little difficult because of COVID, and so we've had some little tragedy. We did lose one of our very young assistant city attorneys, Mr. Robert Kerr, and it was just a difficult time. Attended his memorial, and very heartbreaking for the family. A huge setback. A very wonderful young man of 34 years of age, and because of that, things had to been put on hold for a little bit. We did have one of our members of the city council, Steve Thompson, who did uh, come in contact with COVID-19. He is recovering. He has a bit of a way to go to recover before we're able to get him back onto the council. And so we had to basically put some things on hold. But now we're moving forward. Government doesn't stop, and then we need to get going. And there's a lot of issues and that are facing the community that we're going to have to address. And so you're going to be hearing here pretty soon a lot from myself and the other members of the council what's going to be facing us and what we're going to be asking the community to consider.
That's exciting, Javier. Uh, one of the things that I've noticed in the news of recent seems to be it rising to pitch point is the lawsuit between the Odessa American and the city of Odessa.
Yes, yes, sir.
And can you kind of catch us up there because one thing I've made note of, Javier, that some months back, uh, you had one posture, it appeared, and then as you stepped into this role as mayor, uh, perhaps some greater understanding.
Yes, yes, we did. And the thing is, what just like many of us, I was going off on what I was reading or hearing from the Odessa American. I had asked some of the reporters to give me some clarity, and I was basically going on what people were telling me, what they knew, what they understood. I asked a lot of questions about it, and so my understanding is that the city of Odessa was withholding public information when it came to police reports. And
Okay.
so, and I was asked, and I had many citizens had reached out to me and asked where I stood on that issue. And I said,
Right.
basically, if the city of Odessa is withholding information, then they should release it. And if it is
Right.
public information, he should release it. I mean, that's a common sense. The other is that I was basically led to believe that uh, there was accusations by city officials towards the OA and OA reporters that they were releasing confidential information. The OA always basically stated that they would never do such a thing. And so basically I had asked a question. It was, I think it was a reporter, Michael, I can't remember his last name, but it was the first interview that I had with the OA in their offices. And he made that statement. And I asked, if he could name the city officials that made those statements, and he could not respond or give me a name. And I said, well, if any one official actually basically made that accusation, why are they not being held accountable? I know if I made that statement as a candidate or an office holder, then I would be held accountable. And so that's as far as it ever went. And now that I am on the council, I am mayor, I have divulged myself into basically finding out what's going on, the facts, so to speak. How Joe
Right.
Friday, just give me the facts, man. And so basically, now I do know what the facts are, and it is far from what I've come to understand. Prior to being elected, of what I knew or I thought I knew about the case. Now I do have the facts,
As to
and
what you had been led to believe. I can't help but think of scripture on two different points. Obviously, the case of Solomon, uh, where the where there was the baby that was uh, being fought over between two women,
yes,
and he used great wisdom in that to ultimately find the proper answer. I also think of the passage in Scripture that talks about the imperative nature for elders, that being leaders, to inquire, search out diligently the truth to rumors, the truth to situations. And that invariably requires hearing both sides, which is one of my concerns in this hour with our justice department. We have not been listening to cases. It's as though we don't want to hear two sides to make a decision. But what you're telling me is that you have dug in now and you see a completely different story.
completely different story. So what we were led to believe, and what's being led to the public being led to believe, is one. And I'm going to go point by point here real quickly. The Odessa American has claimed that the city of Odessa has been illegally withholding public information from not only the public but from the Odessa American, and that the city redacts or blacks out way too much information on police reports. That the Odessa American must file public information requests to receive public information every single time, and that the city takes way too long to respond to public information requests. The truth of the matter is this: that the city's disclosure of the information is governed first by the Texas Public Information Act, which is overseen by the Texas Attorney General. Information that must be redacted is defined by Texas law. Texas law also governs how information must be requested. And so the thing is that we're in compliance of doing that, and we are following the law, and we're guided by state law in how what information can be given. The thing is, the public is has a right to public information, but what they do not have the right, and media does not have a privilege and a right, is your confidential information. And that is the core key right here. That is key. What it is. This is what the city is protecting: is your confidential information. And in the two cases that has been presented in a couple of Sundays ago in the Odessa American, where they presented some stories. The two cases noted in the in this particular, the two cases noted in the OA lawsuit basically were responded by the city in one day. The other was 6 days for the other, and the reason why is because it included the county, and we needed to make sure that we wind up getting some information from the county that did not basically damage their case. So that's why there was a delay that, but still way within the 10-day period prescribed by Texas law. So those are two basically points that the OA has put out that we've now clarified and I've clarified to the public. The other is that,
Javier
yes,
or
sir.
Mayor, are those both listed in that lawsuit?
The thing is that there's this is more of content. You know, basically what I'm trying to do is trying to take what's in the lawsuit, because you have a lot of legal jargon, and basically put it in layman's terms and go point by point about what
Right.
the OA is
Excellent.
making accusation, what their points are. The one thing that the OA has not done is that they haven't proved the case. And let me put it this way: a typical if when you request a public information and there is something that you're not receiving, you're thinking it's way too redacted, or something wrong, there's something wrong in the process. But basically what you would do is you would send a complaint to the AG's office. The AG's office would then contact the organization or the entity that's basically what they feel that's in violation, and they would ask them to correct it. That's typical. You would do that before you even launch the lawsuit. The OA bypassed that and has never filed a complaint with the Texas AG's office, especially in the two uh, uh, what's named in the lawsuit, the two cases. The OA has never sent a complaint to the AG's office. Now that's curious, because that's standard
Really?
procedure, and they've never sent a complaint to this day. They haven't sent a complaint, and especially in the two cases that are mentioned in the lawsuit. Now that's, you ask yourself, and you have to be curious, why have they not done that? Because that is a typical procedure before you file any lawsuit. And so basically you sum it up. What's the motivation of the OA here? And how I summed it up, in my opinion, is the motivation is to sell newspapers, to be able to create a narrative that is misleading to the public, that this is basically a heroic act on your behalf, to be able to get the public information that you deserve, that is yours. And the thing is that you're receiving it. What you're
So
not entitled.
basically, endeavoring to incite the citizenry through false information.
Yes, sir. That's exactly, yes, you summed it up very well. That's exactly what's going on. And the thing is that, we're, the taxpayers is being sued for this. And the city has no other course and other to defend it. And the thing is what we're defending is your confidential information. Your confidential information is not for
It's
public consumption.
precious.
Yes,
That's one of the things that we're dealing with in our society today, is the release of so much personal information,
sure.
and being used against people.
Yes, one of the things that this narrative outside the lawsuit is that basically this premise of how the city started acting in this manner, accusations by the OA have alleged that that it was the Odessa mass shooting tragedy that was the starting point for this lawsuit,
Of withholding,
of
or
withholding the
supposedly
public
withholding
information.
information.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Odessa American did not bring out this. They didn't file this lawsuit until January of 2020, which was months after the August 2019 mass shooting tragedy. So that right there is another false narrative that has been going on. And I was led to believe, and I think many of the public was led to believe, that this is when it all started. And now we're seeing that is not the case at all.
Javier, or Mayor, right there, I would like, I would encourage viewers today to pull up, go back and Google some of the articles that the OA wrote
Yes.
concerning this matter,
Yes.
and see if they can't learn to discern between the lines the degree of propaganda that's being purported.
I will give you the dates in which I got the dates right here in front of me. So basically is the Odessa American frequently has printed stories which expose minor victims' names, and they have which have graphically exposed victims of domestic and sexual assault victims. So if you do a quick search of the OA's website, they'll show stories that are published, and these are the dates. So we're going to be April 15th of the year 2020, August 31st, 2021, May 2nd, 2017. Basically, what what's exposed here was protected victim information. Google those, read the articles. You'll probably recognize the articles. I remember when I saw them again. I remember reading them for the first time, and read them in the different contents. You read them differently, and it was then that I realized what the city was definitely saying. This is the type of confidential information that must be protected, and there are some stories that side by side. If you look at these with the other TV media, uh, you see them written completely different, where they're less graphic. Don't name the relationships of the victims with other people and how they're associated. You can see how, in some cases, how stories should be written compared to how they should not be written, and when you see a side by side comparison, then you completely understand. And so these are definitely dates that people, there has been some research that they have found up to 12. Uh, from what I understand, I have not seen them. I've only seen these three, but I've been told there's up to 12 stories up to this point that the OA has written where they've allowed confidential information in their stories.
Unbelievable. So basically, what I hear you saying, Mayor, as much as anything, uh, once you got into office and begin to sincerely seek to understand the truth of the situation, and through the city attorneys begin to see the light on what was actually happening, then your heart obviously is truly to protect the citizens of Odessa, Texas.
Your confidential information must be protected, and by law, we must follow guidelines that's set by the Texas Attorney General,
And
and
the
that's what guides.
TPIA, you said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That what guides us, and so it's we have to follow those guidelines, and it's important, and the liability of the citizens on the line, and so we must continue to adhere to the law, and that's what we've done.
Now,
One of the claims that the Odessa American continues to do today, and they will tomorrow, is they run that little that block in the front page above the fold to the left. And I think they turned it from red to blue now, where they have a countdown of how long the city has dragged this lawsuit out. And the truth of the matter is that the city has asked for one continuance. And the OA has filed two continuances. The
are you?
most recent, yeah, the most recent came in January 28, 2020.
Well,
Uh,
that's, hmm.
and so the thing is that, and so the last continuance was filed by the OA attorneys on the day that their brief was to needed that was due.
Was due.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so the thing is that when you see who has been dragging it out, it's definitely has not been the city, but the OA themselves.
So let me ask this, and maybe it's not one you can answer easily or have an answer for, but this is something that obviously originated before this current administration, Mayor.
Yes, yes, sir.
Uh, how was it being handled at that point in time?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I just
Okay.
know that how we're handling it is instead of sitting back and being silent, is a I felt that we needed to put the facts out of the case, and the position of the city is that uh, public information is being disseminated as being asked, and then so basically what we do is we then uh, when a request is put in, let's say that you put in a request today at 3 o'clock, we have 10 days, 10 business days in order to respond. That meter starts 8 o'clock the following day. So
Okay.
if you put it in today, 8 o'clock tomorrow is when the meter starts. In the overall assessment of how the city of Odessa has responded to public information requests by citizens and media, in the overall assessment, we are a negative. In the negative, if I'm right, negative 2 days. Basically, is we're getting the request out and we're doing it on a timely manner. Then, in the conversation that I've had in the prior past, I've heard that the OA takes weeks, if not months, to respond, and that's necessary. That's just not true. The city has a system. They've trained their personnel, and we're getting the requests out on a timely manner. We are sending some requests, in most cases, to the Attorney General that is required by law. And the thing is that we are redacting confidential information. In some cases, sometimes it's a little bit more. But the thing is, it's necessary for the reason is that we've seen the Odessa American has been frivolous in allowing unredacted information to be and has exposed victims in their news articles, and there's evidence that in those dates that I have put up that shows that they've been irresponsible in that case, and in doing so, we will continue to fight to keep their confidential information, that is the citizens' confidential information, confidential, and we have to be committed to that because that is what we're required by law, and that is the moral thing to do. And we're held accountable by the voters, by the taxpayers. But when you see media, any form of media act in this way, the only ones that can hold them accountable is the citizens, and that's what I'm asking the citizens to do: is to start questioning, the local newspapers. Are they acting responsible and morally?
You
And
know, Mayor, you brought up an excellent point there. And I believe with all of my heart that if the communities, the local communities across this great nation would take this approach for truth to be known, the darkness would be dispelled by that light. But somebody has to have the courage, and people must understand that they must have and they must elect people of integrity in order for the right thing to be done. And if they are not acting on that as a first priority, a first means of vetting candidates, then they're exposing themselves, and we are exposing ourselves to the very state that we are in this nation currently. That and it is so exciting and refreshing to me to see you taking this bull by the horns, being strong, being courageous, and holding on to this thing, getting down to the bare knuckle facts. And so I just encourage you, just keep up this good work that you have begun.
I have to thank the council. The council is I wouldn't I'm not doing this alone. I have a council that is also affirmed to be able to do this, and we're on accord. And I think it's really important. Um, as a city, it's also to make a stand. And the thing is, we'll continue to fight for you, the taxpayers. But first of all, I've always said that, and I've said this to Jamie, I've said to many people, in order for me to serve the community, the taxpayers, I must serve God first, and that is the road on which I'm on, and this is the road He has led us, and it's His work is being revealed, and the truth is being revealed, and it is necessary to be able to if we have this banner, this slogan at the national level that we must reunite. Well, we must reunite under Him first, and that is first important in order for us to be able to receive God's blessings from heaven. Is that we must be able to be truthful ourselves and really and pull back this black cloud of deceivement, and that is basically what's going on. I'm not sure who said it, but they always said if you don't read the newspaper, you're not informed. If you do read it, you're misinformed. Well, this is a gross example of being misinformed in reading this. What the narrative has been coming out, and committed to be able to set the record straight by putting out the facts and only the facts. And I think
You
that
know,
once you see it and you read it, you'll see it for yourself.
well, and we're coming to a close right here, but one of the things again I mentioned how important it is that the local people begin to take authority back for their communities. Because what's happened, even like the newspapers across the nation, they were bought up some years back by larger conglomerates.
Sure.
As a result, you began to have a narrative force fed throughout all communities,
Unified
a
narrative, yeah. Yeah.
truly a propaganda machine.
It's more
But
labeled in the news.
Exactly. Well, Mayor, it's my honor. The Lord bless you and keep you as you continue with that glorious counsel, this mighty quest.
Thank you. The honor is mine, Jamie. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, welcome to WOW. You know, we want to stop today and just tell you a little bit about one of the amazing facets of Mission Messiah, and that is the WOW Warehouse. And you actually can go online to wowwarehouse.org and find many of the amazing products that you find in the WOW Warehouse. But today, I just want to take a minute and tell you one of the ways that you support Mission Messiah and the work that goes on through the mission and enables us to present encouraging television to you is through the purchase or investment in products from WOW. And so today, I've just got some fun things that I just really wanted to show you, and I thought, how am I going to show that best? Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my camera light on, and I'm going to show you one of our really fun products that we have sold so many of these over the years, but they're called soap rocks. But the guy, the inventor, creator of this piece was actually a geologist. And these soap bars look like incredibly gorgeous geological rocks. Look at this. This is aquamarine, but it is absolutely splendid. But it doesn't stop there. The scents on these soap rocks are just incredible. Look at this watermelon. This one's called watermelon, but I mean, look at the magnificence of that. Is that pretty? So pretty. You can go online, go to the wowwarehouse.org, go to soaps, and scroll down, look at some of the different ones of these that we have online, and then obviously you can go to the cart from there. But this one is called Diamond. But I mean, you can certainly see why that one's called Diamond. But like I say, not only are they beautiful, the scents are incredible. This is the rose gold. And again, absolutely gorgeous. So, I just want to invite you, right after the show, go to wowwarehouse.org, go to soaps, and look through our assortment of some of these beautiful soaps. Put one in your bathroom. The Lord bless you.